Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Today I am making a staple in Southern cooking, and that is Lacey cornbread. Let me just show you a piece of this delicious stuff. Oh, it's so crispy. This is something that we serve with most all meals. Like a lot of people eat biscuits, we eat this in the South, and it's super easy to make. It's basically cornmeal, salt, and water. Now the trick to this is a very fine ground cornmeal. This is like flour, as you can see. See here that it's an extra fine cornmeal. It's just a little bit different. And here in the South, we have the coarsely ground cornmeal, we have just your regular, we have a fine and an extra fine. Now I've just added a half of a cup of cornmeal into my little measuring cup. Now this batter looks a whole lot different than probably what you're used to. These are Lacey cakes, so this is a super thin batter. And to this cornmeal, I'm gonna add about a half or a quarter teaspoon of salt. That all depends on you, but just remember that the salt is gonna bring flavor to this cornmeal. Now I have some cold water. You can't mess this up. If you get it too thin, add more cornmeal. If you don't get it thin enough, add more water. And keep playing with it until you get it the right consistency. And here we go. This looks just right. Look at this. It's just soupy and watery, and that is exactly what I'm looking for. Now my heat is on medium high, and I mean more on high than more on medium. And I've got a cast iron skillet. I've just got enough oil in there to cover the bottom of the pan. I'm going to take a spoonful and add that right to my oil. And I like to make ones that are about the size of a, let's say, a sand dollar. I think that that's perfect. And do you see how it's bubbling up on the sides here? That's why they're called Lacey cakes. I'm gonna go ahead and make another. You're gonna use about a tablespoon of batter, and in that goes. I've grown up eating these. These were always on my grandmama's table, but my grandmother made them a little differently. She would actually make them thicker, and we call that fried cornbread. Now there is a difference between the fried cornbread and the Lacey cakes. I'm gonna add a little bit more cornmeal to my batter. And I'll start just a little at a time. Very seldom I get it right the first time, but this looks just right. And when I pull these up, I'll show you how my grandmama made it. We take a spoonful, just like this, push it off, and then push it down. Now my grandmama made them with a little hole in the middle so that the middle would fry up faster. I like it all in one piece. But just for the memory of my grandmother, I'll show you what she used to do. She'd take it, clean hands are your best friend, and she'd shape it in her hand, and then she'd put a hole in it with her finger, and in it goes. If you go to a true Southern restaurant in our area, they will always have fried bread. Not on the menu, but it's complimentary. They bring it to your table. It's just part of your meal, just like a roll would be, or maybe a biscuit. I want it to get nice and golden brown on both sides. Now I'm going to add these to my plate of crispy ones, and of course I've just got to try and see how this one is. Yum. Why is it that something so simple tastes so good? Sometimes, just to shake it up a little bit, I'll add a half of a teaspoon of baking powder to my mix, and that makes them really light and fluffy. Although they're light and fluffy anyway, but just causes a little bit of a different texture. But my family knows when I add the baking powder because they like them just like this. You don't mess with these in my family. They better be made just like this. And you better hide them when your family comes in if you want any to be there for dinner, because most everybody that comes in smells the fried bread and wants to know where it's at because they want a piece. These little babies are ready. Going right on the paper towel. I can't wait to taste one of these. Well, there you've got it. You've got your Lacey cakes, and these are still hot. You've got your fried bread. So if you ever come to Alabama and they say, would you like some fried bread? You know exactly what they're talking about. And see how this is just kind of soft, a little bit in the middle. Now for the taste. They're both delicious. You've got to try this. Listen, this style cornmeal, Hall's Cornmeal, is available in most of your grocery stores here in the Southeast. But if you're not able to find it in your local grocery store, I'm going to post a link in the description so that you can get some of this delicious cornmeal and make your own Lacey cakes. Thanks so much for watching today. You are a blessing to me. Will you make sure you press that like button and share this video with your friends? And I, on the other hand, am going to do a little more taste testing because I'm not quite sure which one I like best. Lacey cakes or fried bread? To be determined. See you next time. Bye.